God told me to rest. I said no. I remember a season where the Lord was really showing me that I needed to slow down and to rest. One day, I so clearly heard him say, "Daughter, rest." And honestly, my first reaction was rest. What even is that? I don't know how to do that. I already thought I lived a pretty rested lifestyle, but I didn't quite realize how much I was carrying, how much I was doing in my own strength. I had responsibilities. I was carrying my own emotions and my family's and people's around me. And through all of that, there was still this pressure to be useful and available and helpful, but to still be okay. And even though I heard what God was saying, my actions still said no. I kept going, I kept working, I kept filling every single moment, even the quiet ones, with things to do, because resting just felt so unsafe. And I just truly didn't know how to put down all the things I was carrying in my own strength. And then I noticed that my soul was starting to get exhausted, carrying all the weight and all the things that I was doing in my own strength. And that was when I really had to ask the Lord to show me what it truly means to rest. So then he started to show me the hidden beliefs that I had that was causing my inability to rest. He started to show me that rest was so hard for me because my heart was living from a belief that was never his truth. A belief that said that I am only valuable and loved and accepted when I'm useful. And this is why rest for me felt so uncomfortable. It made me feel guilty. It made me feel like I was falling behind and that I was so much less valuable. And maybe your heart has learned to feel the same. To feel safe when you're giving, when you're being needed, when you're providing for everyone and carrying everything. But something that I've really had to learn is that my worth is already secure in God, even when I'm resting. And trying to prove my worth through exhaustion was only exposing the places in my heart that needed healing and that needed to receive his love. So to learn how to rest, I had to ask God what rest even was. And I learned that resting is trust. It's trusting that God can hold everything you put down. And I remember in this season when I started reading my Bible and really looking into this, I could just see this everywhere. God strengthened Elijah through rest before bringing him forwards again. David had seasons where he was hidden before he stepped into the promises and the plans that God had for him. Sometimes when God leads you into rest and into seasons where you're being hidden, it's so that he can restore and rebuild your strength, and so that he can heal the parts of you that have been heavy. He builds and layers the foundations of your heart so that you can carry the things that he has for you to walk into. Because he cares about the version of you that enters into the promised land. He cares about the condition of your heart. And looking back now, I can just so clearly see that God was trying to heal the places of my heart that believed that I needed to keep doing and being in order to be loved and useful and accepted and valued. So if God's calling you to a place of rest and it feels hard for you, start small. Sit with God without trying to have everything figured out. Sleep when your body is tired, because God doesn't only care about your spiritual health, he cares about your physical health too. Rest can be the place where God restores what striving and working and fixing and worrying has been draining from you. The place where you've been feeling guilty slowing down is the place that God is wanting to teach your heart to trust in him again.